So here we have this HOOBRO shoe rack. Now I'm going to unbox this, put it together, and then give you a quick review on everything you need to know. Alright, there's everything that came with it. There's a whole bunch of metal parts for the frame, then these 2 laminate pieces for the top, some hardware, the instructions, and the fabric for the actual shelf. Now let's go ahead and get this put together. First we're going to assemble the frame, so screw in all 4 leveling feet, connect the metal pieces, but don't put any screws in yet because we need to have the shelves done first. And to make those, just take the 2 sides of the rods, one side has this pin here, and slide them together. Then take the fabric and push the rods into both sides. Once you're done with that, we can start attaching them to the frame with these screws here, and I'm going to be using this electric screwdriver. So just stretch the fabric out and put 1 screw into each corner. And this actually does 2 things. It connects the rods and secures the frame together both at the same time. Finally, put on the top 2 boards and screw them to the frame. And my screw gun was too big to use here, so I just had to use the Allen wrench that came with the shelves. Alright, there we go, and it's all put together. As you saw, it was super easy, and now that it's done, it's super sturdy. It also has a lot of space for shoes, these leveling feet, and a nice big top to put some extra items. Like I said, there's plenty of room on here. Each shelf has about 6 inches of clearance, and is almost 28 inches long. So you could pretty comfortably fit 3 to 4 pairs of shoes on each shelf. Also, the fabric they use for these shelves is waterproof, so it's really easy to clean and you won't have any problems with water from the top dripping onto the bottom pairs of shoes. The top is also pretty simple to clean because it's just made out of laminate. The shelf is pretty tall to use for a bench, and I definitely wouldn't recommend using it for a bench, but just to show that it's not just going to crumble under a bit of weight, I'll sit on it. Did just fine. There are a couple things I want to point out, and first is the top here. As you can see, there's a pretty noticeable seam in the center, and it looks like they didn't take any effort to try and make these 2 pieces match. Also, another thing that suffered from the small box they packed it in is the fabric here. As you probably already saw, it has these seams where it was folded on top of itself. It's not really that big of a deal for a shoe rack, and if you were really worried about it, you should be able to pretty easily iron them out. And the last little complaint I have is there's a bit of wasted space on the bottom. There's actually 3 inches of space that you can't really use for anything, and they could have pretty easily just added another 3 inches to the shelf and it wouldn't be too noticeable, but then you get a whole nother 3 pairs of shoes on this thing. All that being considered, I still do really like this shoe rack, and I think it'd make a great addition to any entryway.